Welcome to Strong in the Broken Places. My name is Jeffrey Reuter, and we're doing a series on the 12 Spies. We started out just giving a general overview on what we're going to talk about. Then we got into the story itself, followed by the metaphorical and symbolic Egypt and what that really means to our lives today. Then we went into the wilderness, and that's where we find ourselves at now, in the wilderness. So in today's clip, we're going to talk about the destructive power of negativity. And in the following clips, we're going to get into giants, those things in our lives that paralyze us and just consume us with fear. Then we're going to wrap it up with mindset, because in the story of the 12 spies, there was a couple different mindsets at play. And depending on where you stood and what your mindset was, dictated what path you were going to take. So today, the destructive power of negativity. And what we have in our story is that the 12 spies, they went and they checked out this land, and they were all in agreement that yes, it is a land of, they just didn't say abundant. They said exceeding abundance, that it was a land overflowing of milk and honey, and that it was everything that God said it was. But when they went back to give their report, they related that information, but then 10 of the 12 spies, they twisted things around. They said that there is no way we are going to be able to take possession of the land because one, the people are giants. Two, the cities are too big. And three, the walls are fortified. So they gave this really great report, and then they followed it up with the word but. So the moment they said but, what they just did was they just negated everything before that. And this is the first thing that makes negativity so destructive, is that when we're trying to get strong in our broken places and we know where we want to go, but then we use the word but, we begin to start making excuses. And here are some examples. I want to get sober, but there's this really big party this weekend and I want to go to it. I would like to begin to become faithful to my wife. I want to be faithful to my partner, but that other person just treats me so good. Or what about this one? I really want to stop gambling, but it's the playoffs and my team is in the playoffs. And just when I gamble, it just makes the game more interesting. So after the playoffs, I won't do it. And lastly, here's the last example. And it's about career development. I want to further my career, but I'm too old. It's too time consuming. I don't have the money. I don't know where to start. So essentially, when we want to get strong in our broken places and we're thinking about going in this direction and we use the word but, be mindful of the word but. Because the moment we say but, we just throw out everything you just said before the word but. Because that's what the 10 of the 12 spies did in their story. Yes, it is a land overflowing with milk and honey, but we're just never going to be able to do it. The second problem with negativity is this. Not only is it infectious and keep us from achieving what we're doing, but then once we get stuck in that mode, we will begin to manufacture lies. We will begin to manufacture things that keep us stuck in that negativity. Because in this story, this is what happened in this story. The 12 spies, once they said but, that the people were giants, the cities were too big, the walls were too high, then they said this. They said it is a land that devours its people. So now they begin to manipulate things to support their negativity. And when I'm stuck in a mode of negativity, I'm not focused on my goals. I'm not focused on that which I'm trying to achieve. I'm not focused on family. I'm not focused on relationships. I'm not focused on my job. I'm not focused on trying to get out of this wilderness period. And it's destructive. It will condemn you. And that's what we don't want. We don't want to be condemned. And just real briefly, I want to share this story. This is a firsthand experience, and I know how destructive this is. Because in the early 90s, this is before I even fell, and I was deep off into my addiction. I was in a very dark spot, and I knew I wanted to get clean. I knew I had to get clean, and a part of me wanted to get clean, but I didn't know how to go about doing it. So, and it was just frustrating. It was very frustrating me because I didn't know how to go about getting it done, which nowadays is just completely mind-boggling. But when you're deep off into it, it's very real. So, I want to get clean. A part of me is crying out to get clean. Then I begin to tell myself, just like the 10 of the 12 spies, I begin to tell myself that I can't do it. And even if I were to get clean, it doesn't matter because I've already passed the point of no return, that I've already polluted myself so bad that I had pickled my brain that I couldn't even think coherently or properly. And it was just super destructive, and it kept me stuck in just a bad spot. So when we are consumed with that negativity, we got to find a way to break that ball and chain. We got to find a way to break out of it. So if you're there, no matter what area of your life you may be in, if you know you're stuck in that dark spot, if you know you're stuck in a place of extreme negativity, you just got to reach out. You got to reach out and talk to somebody. And essentially what it boils down to is this. It boils down to mindset, which we're going to get into here in a couple clips from now. It boils down to mindset and the things that we're telling ourselves. And it boils down to that word but. So if you're using the word but in trying to get strong in your broken places, take it out. Stop using it. Stay focused. When you get around, when you hear people talking negative, when you recognize yourself being negative, either run or change the subject. And we can do this. I know we can do this. It takes work, it takes effort, but that's what being in the wilderness is all about, because the promised land is right there. I can see it, I can smell it, I can grasp onto it, and I'm going to seize it. And that's our reach. We got this. We can do this, but we just have to do the work. We have to do the work. Okay, so the next episode, we're going to talk about giants. And I will see you then. But in the meantime, if you like these messages, if you like what we're talking about, then subscribe, like us, and share us with a friend. And until then, I'll see you later. Bye.